So if you are interested in investing in real estate, but you don't have thousands of dollars, nor do you want to manage the whole process of getting pre-approved and down payments and getting inspections and all that, then you want to definitely like this video and watch the rest of it, because I'm going to talk about Fundrise, which is one of my favorite platforms that I use for real estate investing. And I'm going to walk you through my Fundrise portfolio and tell you why I continue to invest in it. So in this video, we're going to cover a few things. Number one, what Fundrise is. I'm going to walk you through that. Number two is I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I continue to invest with Fundrise. I'm going to give you a peek into my portfolio, and I'm going to tell you if this might be a good opportunity for you based on the kind of person that you are. So let's get into it. If you have never heard of Fundrise, Fundrise is a real estate crowdfunding platform that allows you to invest in private real estate, such as single family homes, townhomes, and even commercial buildings such as malls or mixed use properties, which would be like an apartment on the top and like a nail salon on the bottom. And these are basically called REITs, and they're private REITs, e-REITs. And REITs are not just unique to Fundrise. You can purchase REITs on the stock market, which is what we should all be familiar with, which could be the S&P 500, NASDAQ, etc. And I invest in those too, to be clear. But this video, we're going to talk about Fundrise in particular, because the platform is the most user-friendly to me. Even though I do invest in public REITs on the stock market, it takes a little more effort to kind of understand which ones are best for me, and it doesn't take that same effort when it comes to Fundrise. It's just a lot more user-friendly. So that is what REITs are. REITs stand for Real Estate Investment Trust, and the way that I explain them to people who have never heard of them is that they are very similar to stocks in Facebook, Google, Apple, etc. And they operate the same, where you are basically a shareholder of this bigger corporation without actually having to manage the whole process of running the corporation. You're not the CEO of it. You're just a shareholder, meaning that you own a portion of said company. But with REITs, Real Estate Investment Trust, they're not companies per se. They're real estate properties, and that can be residential real estate, such as what we live in, or it could be commercial real estate, which could be malls, gyms, things like that. So the difference between public REITs and private REITs is usually the public REITs are part of some bigger company that owns real estate. Think of like a Berkshire Hathaway, for example. If you've ever looked at what they own malls, they own apartment buildings, so it's a part of a bigger conglomerate, versus these private REITs via Fundrise. They could be a single family home where like that's it, it can be an apartment building and that's it. And that's literally what it is. And I'm going to highlight somewhere later in the video. I'm going to provide a screenshot of some of the properties that I'm actively invested in based on Fundrise. So again, these are stocks, but the stocks are actually of properties, and they're not termed as stocks. You just happen to own a portion of this real estate without having to do the work of owning it outright. Like with my home right now, if something breaks, I have to fix it, but if something breaks at these properties that you own, a part of your portfolio, you're not fixing it. They're not calling you. Like, they don't even have your information. You're like a silent partner, if you will, of real estate. So that is what REITs are, and that's what Fundrise is. And again, the difference is that it's not public properties. These are private properties that you're investing in if you go down the Fundrise route, which is what we're going to be talking about for the rest of this video. So let's jump into some of the reasons why I love Fundrise and why I love REITs, and why I continue to invest in them over time. So number one is that it is a hands-off and passive investment for me and for you if you decide to do it. So 90% of the revenue that REITs earn, whether it's public REITs or private REITs, are required to go to investors. And that's the number one differentiator between investing in an Apple, a Google, a Facebook, and investing in REITs, which are real estate investment trusts, is that the revenue is required by law to go to investors. The people that are putting their money into these REITs will always see, not always because things do happen, but they are expected to receive a return because the money is not staying in the properties. That 10% is staying there, but the rest of it is going to people that are actively investing, and you don't have to do anything besides literally give your money to do this. So people, a lot of people want to get invested. They want to invest in real estate, but they don't want to flip the house. They don't want to save for a down payment. They don't want to go through all of that. They just want to give some money and make some money based off that money. And that's literally what REITs provide you with. It's a hands-off process, because I know what it's like to go through the home buying process. I've been through it many, many times. And I know that as I move towards more of my nomadic lifestyle, where I'm just collecting money and not having to work for it, I'm likely going to be investing a lot more in REITs, more than I already do now, because I don't want to have to be on the hook for plumbing being needed. I don't want to have to be on the hook for finding tenants for my place. Like, that's just not of interest to me. I mean, it is for the places that I know I'm going to get, but like, to just have 100 properties in my portfolio, it's not even conducive to the lifestyle I want to live. So like, if you are like me and you don't want to have to be managing all these properties, you don't have thousands of dollars to invest right now in real estate. You may have a couple of $100. You may have $50, and you just want to let it grow over time, then, Fundrise and REITs is a good opportunity for you to consider. Ultimately, this is not investment advice. You have to do your own research and determine what's best for you. This is just why myself personally, continue to invest in REITs via Fundrise. Number 2 is that it allows me to diversify what my investments are. So Fundrise and REITs is one of many things that I'm invested in. I also invest in index funds. I invest in ETFs. I have individual stocks, and I also am purchasing a rental property in addition to making my current home a rental property. Like, I have traveling nurses that stay with me over time. So my money is split in addition to my high yield savings account and some of those other things that you all should already know about if you've been watching my videos. Like, I'm diversified. So like, if ish hits the fan with these REITs and they don't make me any money, which I'm going to talk about later, so stick around and I'm going to tell you why I ended up adjusting my REIT strategy, I'm not on the hook. I'm not, losing all my money. If things hit the fan with the S&P 500 and my index funds aren't performing, that's fine, because my money is split across multiple things. So knowing that I'm going to be making money with REITs, because 90% of the revenue is required to go to investors like me, that's something I need to be invested in, because it'll allow me an opportunity to make some real money passively, versus maybe if the stock market doesn't perform that well for a year, at least my money is diversified across many different opportunities. So that's another reason why I continue to invest with Fundrise and with REITs, is because I know that if ish hits the fan, I'm not out on a limb, and I only invest what I can afford. I've adjusted my budget to be, conducive to the lifestyle goals that I have, and a lot of my lifestyle goals require money. So I need to be diversified, because I know that we're in this market and things are fluctuating at all times. So like, it's a great way to diversify where your money is, so that you have an opportunity to make money across multiple things. So that's reason number 2. And reason number 3 is that it is a familiar experience for me. Like I said, if you're invested in some larger Vanguard real estate, index fund or private REIT or public REIT, you may not even understand the terminology around it. It's like, okay, the expense ratio is this, and like, it just, learning how to read like a prospectus takes time. And like, I'm still refining my own process around it. And thank God for YouTube. Like, I've learned how to understand and go directly to the things that actually matter, and understand the performance of, various index funds and ETFs, but that does not come easy. It takes a lot of learning and a lot of studying that a lot of us just don't have time to do. Now, I'm not going to say use that as an excuse, because we have YouTube, we have audiobooks. Like, you have to be willing to put in the work to like really grow, your investment knowledge, which is what I had to do. I've been doing that, I feel like, for the last 10 years. But it just can feel very overwhelming, and it's like all this terminology just doesn't make sense. So when it comes to Fundrise and these private REITs, it's a familiar process in the sense of you're going to see some properties in Savannah, Georgia. You're going to see properties in Los Angeles, California. And they're going to be properties that you can understand. It's going to be a single family home. It's going to be an apartment complex. It's going to be a new mall that's being built. It's not going to be something that you don't understand, because likely we're living in these places that they're investing in. So you have a personal connection to it. It doesn't feel like it's some far-fetched thing with all these, properties and stuff that just doesn't make sense to you. These are things that you can literally envision. You may even live in a city where there are active investments being managed, So for me, that was important. It's for me to not feel like you're speaking something that I can't understand. And I needed it to be an easy to understand process. So we're going to dive into what my portfolio looks like, but it just doesn't feel overwhelming to choose an investment. They make it very easy for you. If you want something that's income-based, if you want to collect those dividends on a quarterly basis like I do, then they have an income real estate fund. If you aren't interested in dividends, getting that money, right now, and you maybe want to get it later and you want to see the properties appreciate, meaning that, they're worth maybe $500,000 right now, but maybe in 10 years, they're worth double that. And I want to have my portfolio sit there until I'm ready to cash out and make that money, then you might be interested in growth-based, REITs. But again, they make it so easy to understand. Income versus growth. Just listening to me say that right now, I'm sure it connects in your brain versus something that just feels so it feels like I need to go to finance school to understand. Who wants to do that? We don't work in finance. I don't work in finance. I'm just trying to get this money, and I'm trying to help y'all get this money. And so Fundrise makes it easier for you to kind of understand what's happening in your portfolio. And if you are interested in Fundrise after those 3 reasons and just getting an understanding of REITs, I do have an ebook on sale. I'm going to show something on the screen that dives into, what Fundrise is, how to really get your portfolio and your account up and running. That's really what the ebook is about. You're going to have screenshots of what properties I'm invested in. You're going to learn more about my investment strategy, but also the other strategies that are available. And it's going to really just give you a deep dive and a well-rounded overview of Fundrise so that you set up your account for success and you're not stuck. I get so many people reaching out to me, because they've signed up for Fundrise and they don't know what the next step is. And it's I want you to take the next step. I don't want you to just sign up. I want you to feel confident as you're in the portfolio and you're choosing investments that are unique to your goals. My goal is income, passive income, not so much growth. I want my money right now so that I can invest it into other stuff, but some people might not be interested in that. They may be interested in that long-term appreciation. So the ebook is linked in the description. I've gotten so much good feedback from it already. I've soft launched it on TikTok, and so many people have purchased it already and gotten their accounts up and running. So it's only $6.99. The price will likely increase next year. Not next year, Lord Jesus, next month. So please get it while it's this price, because I want you guys to get in there and get started. I'm an action taker, and I need you to be an action taker if you're watching these videos. Do your research, of course, but don't sit on this. It's $10 to open an account. It's not your whole savings, okay? Get started, purchase something, and continue to add that money over time. So that is the 3 reasons why, and that is what Fundrise continues to provide for me from an overall real estate investing perspective. So the rest of this video, I'm going to actually not talk on this screen, and I'm going to pull up, I'm going to split the screen so that you guys can get a peek into my Fundrise portfolio, because you guys have been asking for it, and I've been I don't want to share all of my stuff because there's a lot of personal information, but I shared what was general enough and comfortable enough for me to share. So thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the peek into my portfolio, and leave any questions or comments that you have below, and let me know what other topics you have interest in. So I will see you guys in the next video, and please sign up and take action today. Watch the rest of the video though. Okay, so this is what my Fundrise account looks like. My account value is a little over $2,300. I've had about $90 in growth since I've last logged in a couple of weeks ago. And my net returns thus far is $379, which is very good. For this little amount that I have in my account, I've been growing it very slowly and steadily. but I've been monitoring my results. And so you see the annualized return from a net perspective is 8%. And if you are following the stock market, usually you get between 7 and 12. So this is right in line. And again, my account initially was not the supplemental income plan. It was the balanced investing, meaning that I had a balanced amount of growth based REITs, meaning that I may not be making the money right now until they actually sell the properties and get tenants in there, versus the income-based REITs where they actually do have the tenants or these companies that are renting out these spaces. So I noticed with the growth REITs that I had, they weren't performing that well over these last couple of months. And obviously we know that's because, you know, people aren't buying properties because the interest rates are so high. So real estate impacts everybody the same way. So I said, well, let me focus on places that actually have tenants in here. So like, I'm going to show you guys more my portfolio, but this is what the homepage looks like. It shows you your progress, you know, it shows you your value, your net returns, and you can kind of adjust it as well, as you see me doing here. Yeah, as you can see, it's continuously growing up because I'm continuing to add money. But this is the homepage. This is what it looks like. You have some articles you can read. They'll give you details on like, you know, different updates to your portfolio, anything that they potentially sold, such as an exit update. It'll give you your dividends update, stuff like that. So if you want to deep dive into your portfolio, you can click right here to get that, or right here. So we'll just click right here for now. And then this will give you a detail into like which funds you actually have. So I had a lot of growth REITs, and again, they weren't really performing the way that I needed them to do. So at first they were in 2019, 2020, but then, you know, you look at, and 2021, but 2022, things started tracking a little negatively, and I was like, okay, well, at this point in 2023, I'm losing money, so let me get out of the growth REITs and let me focus more on the income-based REITs. So these are the ones that where they actually are making money on them. The people are paying, you know, their rents, whether it's a commercial building or a residential building. Those are going to perform a little better. So that's kind of what I've been focused on. And because my account has been balanced investing this whole time, my returns have been very low because it's been a balance between these two. But now I'm going to see a lot more traction down here because I'm only focused on supplemental income. I've adjusted my goal for my Fundrise account. So that's what you'll see here. This tab is the investment tab. We're not going to click on that because that's a lot of my personal information. A transactions tab, which shows you kind of, you know, a layout of all the transactions you've made within the account. And then the more tab, which gives you, you know, some investments you can browse. You can adjust your goal. I have a passive income goal, but that's personal. I'm not going to share that right now. But if you want to browse the different investments that are available, the flagship fund is pretty much in everybody's account. That's kind of their flagship opportunity. It is focused more so on long-term appreciation, which means that you may not like make a lot of money in the beginning, but you know, they are building more housing, built for rent housing, which means that they're going to be collecting the rent for that. There's an income real estate fund, which is what I have and I'm heavily invested in. It's open right now. And you can learn more about what your goal is. Right here is cash flow, which means that you're going to get the cash, versus appreciation, which means that you're going to get the growth. You may not get the money right now, but when it's time for you to sell, that's when you'll really make your money there. And then the innovation fund, which is also appreciation focused. So this is going to be those high growth, you know, companies. If you don't want to invest in real estate and you want to invest in companies, you know, tech companies, for example, I do not invest in that right now. That's not one that I am investing in. It's pretty much these two funds that I have focus on. And then if you want to get even more specific around like location, there's an East Coast REIT that I also am not invested in. There's a development REIT, which I'm also not invested in because I'm not interested in appreciation right now. And of course the growth REITs. And I had the balanced REIT for a very long time. And again, it started tracking down. So I had to let go of that one. So that's what Fundrise looks like. And it's very simple. As you can see, the user experience is very simple, and they have so many different articles. They have a help center. Like, it's really been beneficial for me to balance out what I'm invested in. I'm still invested in the stock market. I have stuff in the S&P 500. Like, I have my Roth, which I'm investing in public REITs with. you know, but this is another strong strategy that's been making me money. And when it's time for me to sell, I know I'm going to make even more money because there's going to be growth attached to some of these REITs that I've been holding on to for years. So that is Fundrise in a nutshell. So that's a peek into my portfolio.